All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar. The headlines. Polling begins for first phase of assembly elections in Gujarat. India to assume presidency of G20 grouping today. 100 monuments to be lit up in G20 logo. India and Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement to come into force on 29th of December. RBI to launch first pilot for retail digital rupee today. Hornbill Festival begins at Naga Heritage Village Kisama in Nagaland today. And in FIFA World Cup at Qatar, Argentina, Poland, Australia and France enter the round of 16. And now the news in detail. Polling has begun for the first phase of assembly elections in Gujarat. Voting, which began at 8 this morning, will continue till 5:30 in the evening. 89 seats spread over 19 districts of Saurashtra, Kutch and South Gujarat regions are going to polls in this phase. A total of 788 candidates are in the fray in this phase. Chief Election Commissioner Rajiv Kumar has appealed the people in Gujarat to exercise their franchise in large numbers.
Gujarat is celebrating Festival of Democracy today. On behalf of Election Commission, my sincere appeal to all 4.9 crore voters of Gujarat to vote today and also on 5th December during the second phase of the elections. In recently held polling in Himachal, voting percentage has set a record of 75% voting. It is over to Gujarat now.
Now we go over live to our correspondent Sushil Chandra Tiwari, who is in Saurashtra region of the state. Sushil, where are you right now in Saurashtra region, and how is the polling progressing at your booth?
Well, Anuja, I am at Nirmala Convent School polling booth, which falls in Rajkot West constituency, which is in Rajkot district. This is a very high-profile seat as it has a legacy of the sorts. Narendra Modi made his assembly debut from here, and Vijay Rupani, the former CM of the Gujarat state, was also sent to assembly by people of Rajkot West in 2017. BJP has fielded Deputy Mayor of Rajkot, Darshita Shah, this time, and the district has 8 seats, out of which BJP won 6 seats last time and Congress bagged 2 seats. If we talk about the arrangements, then Election Commission has made all the necessary arrangements for the smooth conduct of polls. Heavy security deployment is there along with state police, BSF. More than 70,000 police personnel and paramilitary force have been deployed in the polling booths, in total polling booths of this phase. There will be live webcasting at half of the polling booths to ensure free and fair elections. Anuja?
Sushil, what is the political scenario at the Saurashtra Kutch region?
Well, Anuja, it is said that the Saurashtra Kutch region holds the key to the fate of the government. And if we talk about the political scenario of this region, it comprises 11 districts and it gave biggest blow to BJP in 2017 because Congress won maximum number of seats from this region. But the political landscape has changed drastically since 2017 this time, Anuja. BJP remains strong in the urban seats of the region and it has influence in the strongholds of Jamnagar and Rajkot districts. If we talk about the key ministers and key contestants, the political fate of 14 ministers of the state government will be decided in this phase, and many of them are contesting from Saurashtra region also. Former Gujarat Minister Purushottam Solanki, 6-time MLA Kumarji Bavalia, Gujarat Home Minister Harsh Sanghvi, and Indian cricketer Ravindra Jadeja's wife Rivaba. She is also contesting from Jamnagar seat. And so there are many other important leaders also, like Aam Aadmi Party's CM candidate Isudan Gadhvi and party's state president Gopal Italia. These are among the important candidates contesting in this phase. Anuja?
Thank you, Sushil, for that update. Now we go over live to our correspondent Manas Pratim Sharma, who is in Surat. Manas, what is the latest update you have for our listeners on the voting going on there?
Anuja, right now I am standing outside a polling booth at Surat East constituency. It's a pleasant weather here. Voting has just begun, but the voters started to reach the polling booth at around 6:45 am. It's a long queue, I can say, and all necessary security arrangement has been put in place. Central paramilitary forces are here, Gujarat police are here. Along with half of the polling stations have been covered by a live webcasting system by Election Commission of India. If we talk on the political scenario here, Surat district has 16 seats. In the last assembly polls, the ruling BJP got 15 and Congress got 1 seat. This time, most of the seats are likely to witness triangular contest. BJP, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress. This is a textile and diamond hub of the country. So most of the families or people here are related with both these industries, either with diamond industry or in textiles. Back to you, Anuja.
Thank you for that update, Manas. Meanwhile, campaigning has intensified for the second phase of assembly elections in Gujarat. Our Ahmedabad correspondent reports that political parties are engaged in high-voltage campaigning to woo the voters.
As only 3 days are left for the campaigning to end for the second phase, all the political parties have shifted their focus to central and north Gujarat that will go for polls in this phase. BJP leader and Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address 3 poll rallies at Kalol, Bodeli and Himmatnagar today. Union Home Minister Amit Shah will hold a roadshow in Sanand and address 2 public meets at Visnagar and Kalol. Congress State President Jagdish Thakur and other party leaders will campaign in favor of the party candidates. From Aam Aadmi Party, National Convener Arvind Kejriwal, Punjab Chief Minister Bhagwant Mann and cricketer Harbhajan Singh will lead a roadshow in Ahmedabad. Aparna Khun, AR News, Ahmedabad.
This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. India will formally assume the presidency of G20 grouping for 1 year from today. The Group of 20 is a premier forum comprising world's advanced and developing economies as well as the European Union, which meets every year to discuss global issues. The presidency was symbolically handed over to Prime Minister Modi by Indonesian President Joko Widodo at the closing session of the G20 summit in Bali last month. Speaking at the summit, Mr. Modi had said India is taking charge of the G20 at a time when the world is grappling with geopolitical tensions, economic slowdown, rising food and energy prices, and the long-term ill effects of the COVID pandemic. He assured the world leaders that India's presidency of G20 will be inclusive, ambitious, decisive, and action-oriented.
मैं ये आश्वासन देना चाहता हूं कि भारत की G20 अध्यक्षता इंक्लूसिव, एम्बिशियस, डिसिसिव और एक्शन ओरिएंटेड होगी। अगले 1 साल में हमारा प्रयत्न रहेगा कि G20 नए विचारों की परिकल्पना के लिए और सामूहिक एक्शन को गति देने के लिए एक ग्लोबल प्राइम मूवर की तरह काम करे।
India's start of the presidency will be marked by several people-centric activities. It includes University Connect program, where External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar will address students from 75 universities across the country virtually. The function will be held at Sushma Swaraj Bhavan in New Delhi. As many as 100 monuments will be illuminated across the country with the G20 logo. We have a report.
The theme of India's G20 presidency is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, or One Earth, One Family, One Future. The theme affirms the value of all life, human, animal, plant and microorganisms and their interconnectedness on the planet Earth and in the wider universe. It will be a big opportunity for India as the country will get a global center stage. During the course of its presidency, India will be holding about 200 meetings in 32 different sectors in multiple locations across the country. Tanvi Khurana, News Desk.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said India's G20 presidency will work to promote this universal sense of oneness, and hence India's theme is One Earth, One Family, One Future. Mr. Modi said this is not just a slogan, but it takes into account recent changes in human circumstances which we have collectively failed to appreciate. In his op-ed in several newspapers today, the Prime Minister urged the citizens to join together to make India's G20 presidency a presidency of healing, harmony and hope. The Prime Minister said that during the G20 presidency, India will encourage an honest conversation among the most powerful countries on mitigating risks, posed by weapons of mass destruction and enhancing global security. President of Sri Lanka India Society Kishore Reddy has said the Indian presidency of G20 is a great opportunity for the countries not represented in the forum. Talking to AIR News, Mr. Reddy expressed confidence that India will safeguard interests of countries like Sri Lanka also at the forum.
Makes us really proud of India taking over the G20 leadership. I think this hasn't probably happened earlier. I think it has happened only for the first time. And India entering into this elite club of G20 and then handling the issues of the world on behalf of all the countries that are also not represented in G20, representing Global South, which is, I think, includes Sri Lanka as well. And I think as our External Affairs Minister mentioned, that we would actually take care of countries that are not being represented.
India and Australia have exchanged written notifications regarding their Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement ECTA. The agreement will come into force on 29th of December. Commerce and Industry Minister Piyush Goyal said it is the dawn of a whole new era for businesses and people of both nations. The Reserve Bank of India will launch Retail Central Bank Digital Currency CBDC on pilot basis today. The digital rupee would be in the form of a digital token that represents legal tender. It will be issued in the same denominations that paper currency and coins are currently issued and will be distributed through intermediaries and banks. 8 banks have been identified for phase-wise participation in this pilot. In Nagaland, 10-day-long Hornbill Festival will begin at Naga Heritage Village, Kisama today. Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar will grace the inaugural function of the festival as the chief guest. We have a report.
This festival will be held at the Naga Heritage Village, Kisama, about 12 kilometers from Kohima. In the 10 days festival, visitors will get the opportunity to catch a ringside view of all the Naga tribes, their culture and distinctiveness at one place. A total of 132 stalls will be set up in Kisama, wherein 100 stalls will be taken up by the micro, small and medium enterprises and 32 temporary stalls. This is Asanyo from AIR News from Kohima.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi today also extended his wishes to the people of Nagaland on their Statehood Day. Border Security Personnel, BSF, is celebrating its Raising Day today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted the border security personnel and their families. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said, "This is a force with an outstanding track record of protecting India and serving the nation with utmost diligence." In the FIFA World Cup at Qatar, Argentina, Poland, Australia and France have advanced into the round of 16. Argentina stormed the last 16 after 2-0 win over Poland in the final Group C fixture in Doha. Despite the defeat, Poland qualified for the round of 16 with a better goal difference than Mexico, who defeated Saudi Arabia 2-1 in their last Group C encounter. From the Group D, Australia joined table topper France in the knockout stage with a 1-0 win over Denmark. In the Group D clash, Tunisia registered a historic 1-0 victory over defending champions France 1-0, but it was not enough for them to qualify for last 16. And now for an overview of today's newspapers, it's over to Sarabjit Kaur.
Thank you, Anuja. All the newspapers have focused on the mother of democracy, India, taking the G20 reins today. The Pioneer editorial covers Prime Minister Modi's vision of India's learning and models as possible templates to tackle challenge. Remittances to India set to hit record $100 billion this year, 25% higher than FDI flows, reports the Times of India. RBI's new digital lending norms apply from today, notes the Tribune. Indices hit fresh highs on strong liquidity flows, reports the Economic Times. And finally, the Statesman, quoting the Navy Chief Admiral Hari Kumar, writes, "Women sailors are being inducted in Indian Navy, with all remaining branches being opened for women in the coming years."
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Polling begins for first phase of assembly elections in Gujarat. India to assume presidency of G20 grouping today. 100 monuments to be lit up in G20 logo. India and Australia Economic Cooperation and Trade Agreement to come into force on 29th of December. RBI to launch first pilot for retail digital rupee today. Hornbill Festival begins at Naga Heritage Village, Kisama in Nagaland today. And in FIFA World Cup at Qatar, Argentina, Poland, Australia and France enter the round of 16. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.